I think Joaquin Phoenix does really, really well considering the shoes he's got to fill. I mean, we've got Heath Ledger.
Is that a clown joke?
It should be. It is now.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes.
This episode we're talking about Joker, the 2019 multiple award-winning film from writer, director and producer Todd Phillips, whose previous works include Old School, Starsky and Hutch, and The Hangover. Be warned, spoilers ahead. Now, if I'm honest, I don't think this film is as funny as the other films.
No, it's not funny at all.
Yeah, in spite of the title, I don't even think there are any jokes in it.
Yeah. Well, there is stand-up in it.
Barely. Well, no, I mean, I don't mean even mean the content. Like, he's obviously terrible. Even for his terrible stand-up, there's not much of it shown in the film.
True.
I know that that's his side gig that he's trying to do.
It's his only gig, isn't it?
No, he's a clown.
It's a clown.
Oh, of course. Yeah, at the beginning. Sorry, I forget.
I was trying to be funny. That also failed. So Here we go. What did you guys think?
I thought it was a good film.
I like it. It's dark, but it's good dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't live up to the hype of, it's going to be so gritty and
Oh, really?
fantastic. Yeah, it was just a good film.
Okay, interesting.
I like the reboot of the Joker's character and the crossover and the attenuation they make. That like they bring it in that he could be Batman's half brother. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's been in the comics for quite a while, so
Okay.
that's a nice... Like, there's a lot of comic book nods in this that they just, like, they don't harp on. It's just like, here's a little something. If you know the comics, here's a little something for you. If you don't, it's just an extra wrinkle to the story.
Little Easter
I don't
eggs.
remember them showing Martha Wayne in the film, but in some of the comics and I think like the Telltale Batman game as well, Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne, like they're not the nice people they were purported to be. There's a darkness to how they made their money and how they operated.
Well, having them assassinate or killed for as part of the right as opposed to directly for theft is interesting as well.
Mm.
Yeah. I found it interesting, speaking of their characters being different, the first time we see Thomas Wayne, who in the comic books and like especially the animated TV show, he's like this lovely guy. And in the other films, he's, a very caring person about society. And in this, he's just a dick.
Yeah.
Just a massive dick. And then it turns out Alfred's a dick too.
Yeah.
It was like the prevailing theme of this film is everyone's a dick.
Well, they make Daddy Wayne more of a mogul, more of a hard and fast, hard cut, like businessman. Yeah. Instead of the, philanthropist that he is portrayed. Maybe that's supposed to come later.
So in the comics, he's actually a doctor. So there's Wayne Enterprises or the Wayne Foundation, Wayne Tech, or whatever the company happens to be at the time. But he doesn't really get involved that much.
He's on the board of directors, but
Yeah,
he
but
doesn't need to get that involved.
He spends more of his time working as a doctor.
The Wayne family is very rich, going back generations and generations. He was a doctor because he wanted to be, not because he wanted to be and needed the money.
Old money.
Yeah,
It was someone who could have quite happily just coasted on the money he had.
Yeah. And then in this, he's working to be the mayor and...
Yes, that's right. There is a political ambition as well. Yeah.
Just an absolute dick bag.
I think Joaquin Phoenix does really, really well considering the shoes he's got to fill. I mean, we've got Heath Ledger.
Is that a clown joke?
It should be. It is now.
And they were big.
Yeah, he won an Oscar, didn't he?
Yeah. And BAFTA as well. When this film first came out, I had absolutely no interest in it.
Okay.
It didn't appeal to me. I think because it was outside of like film continuity.
Yes.
When it comes to comic books or episodes of TV shows and they have like an Elseworld theme where like this is like a different reality, I'm into it. But for whatever reason, I think Catwoman and Steel and like the other non-interconnected films that were just horrible.
So bad.
It just put me off the idea of a non-connected. Not that the connected ones are fantastic.
Wouldn't you love it if they had, if they started a Batman or a Spider-Man, something good, like, and they got a young enough actor, and it was someone who absolutely was committed straight off the bat, someone who's a fan themselves and someone who's like, I will definitely do 8 movies, and then you would have, you would be able to tell a huge range of stories rather than just get a couple of films and then reboot it.
Yeah.
A couple of years later and reboot it and reboot it and reboot it. What if you had someone who was just so committed to just knocking out a whole bunch of ones that would just get better and better and better?
I would love to see DC do the same thing that Marvel did with their cinematic universe, which is something that they were... Some people at Warner Brothers wanted to do, and other people at Warner Brothers just wanted to jump in with the Superman v Batman thing. And so...
It wasn't a good film.
It's
Nor Justice League. They were okay. They were just a thing to watch.
They were fine. But it was just I think they were rushing into it compared to Marvel. Marvel took their time, and now they've got... You can watch almost any of those films individually.
True.
And you don't have to have seen anything else, and it works. But so with this, I had no interest in watching it, and then...
You hadn't seen it then?
I hadn't seen it, no.
Oh, okay.
It was my first viewing this week. And I sat down, and I was just blown away. The cinematography is really amazing. Well. The acting's incredible.
It is?
Yeah.
And just the story, I was so impressed. And for quite a lot of it, I thought, this doesn't need to be... Like, you could make this film independently of it being a DC film. Like,
you could be any character.
This didn't need to be the Joker, but then as it went on and it got towards the end and expanded, it made sense why it is a Joker film.
Yeah,
and I loved it.
Now, it didn't say it made no allusion to what year it was.
So the film that the Waynes come out from, Zorro and the Gay Sword. Zorro and the Gay... Oh, sorry.
I didn't get that deep.
Zorro and the Gay Blade, which is it's a tongue-in-cheek sequel to the 1940s film Mark of Zorro, which is the film that they've traditionally just seen before they get murdered.
Yeah.
And I think the Zorro and the Gay Blade came out in 81.
Okay, so is it only Batman Begins where they go to the opera or they go to the theatre rather than a movie theatre?
It's not... Like, it changes from... incarnation. So I don't think you know what film they're coming out from in the 89 film, from memory.
Isn't that the opera one though?
No,
that is a film. Okay,
Batman
that's
Begins
a film, and then Batman Begins is the opera.
Okay, yeah.
Which really kind of makes more sense in that they have Bruce be afraid of the bats, and he's the reason they leave. So it makes his guilt is more realistic than just a kid who couldn't stop a mugging because the family took a random shortcut.
Yeah.
The set design, the cars, the televisions, everything, it was just incredible.
So good.
It was so much
the subway,
work
the
put into it.
Yeah.
The step scene, how wicked is the
Although, to be fair, I think a lot do look like that.
Yep. I think it was quite easy to do. New York becomes Gotham.
Do you think the film treated mental illness in a disrespectful way, do you think it handled...
I thought it really brought it into the forefront of that it's a major problem and that it's under-resourced and people need and should have access to better healthcare, and in countries not unlike Australia and America they don't, but at the same time you could say at times it does kind of make it into not a joke, but it kind of goes, oh, we can't help them anyway. Like if you have a mental illness, well, that's your problem. But I think it brings it into that because it swaps out. It starts this already with Heath Ledger's Joker, but it sort of takes the chemical vat that made the Joker and makes it society that makes the Joker. It's the stresses and it's mental health as opposed to a formative event. Yeah,
rather than, that's all very cartoony and fine, falling into a vat at Ace Chemicals. But I do much like it. It's someone like Heath Ledger's Joker who's scarred himself and like Joaquin's, that they both put makeup on. Yeah, that's amazing. That's great.
Yeah. I think mental illness is the fall guy. Like, is the reason for a lot of what in films and TV. Like, this person's evil or bad or the antagonist because they've got mental illness, and it gets blown out of proportion a lot as well, especially with psychopaths and sociopaths. Yeah,
misused and overused.
Yeah, but in this case, I don't know. It didn't feel like a cheap crutch. It felt... I don't know if it was, but it felt a little bit researched. It felt a little bit real, especially with someone that's that heavily medicated, then coming off their meds. And then you've got like bipolar and
The hallucination scenes making you second guess yourself, like
Well,
someone would.
How much of the film actually happened? Because even so, when he was,
Did he kill the lady at the end?
yeah,
Yeah.
when we found out that he wasn't dating the girl,
Zazie
which
Beetz.
I thought was sus to begin with.
It was really weird. It escalates really quickly. And like, oh wow, that's a quick relationship.
Yeah, and where's the kid? Like, she's out and about, and she's just turned up at your doorstep, and she's totally fine with him following her. Like, so already I was like, oh, that's sus. But then as it went on, I was like, oh, what else isn't happening?
Yeah.
What else is happening? Which I thought was a great tool of the film,
Really well done.
which harkens to Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
That whole Travis Bickle thing. What did he
Even
do? What didn't he do?
Like American Psycho.
yeah.
as well.
Also, American Psycho.
Yeah.
Who did
And
what?
It's a good insight, I think, into, again, not to belittle it or, I don't fully understand it, but I think it gives you a good perspective of someone that is suffering from, say, bipolar or schizophrenia. They don't necessarily understand what's happening or what's true. And that only, convolutes the issue more. Yeah.
I felt a lot of sympathy and empathy and
For the
terror.
bad guy.
Yeah. For the guy that was murdering people.
Yeah.
I think it's a really well made film.
Yeah.
And such a great performance from Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, amazing. Really, really well done. And clown jokes aside, they were big shoes to fill, and I think he did amazingly. Yeah.
Okay, he kills the 3 yuppies.
Yeah.
But they were kicking the shit out of him first.
They were.
Yeah.
And
America's a very, I don't know, I don't think New York is a stand your ground sort of state, but I don't know if you're overpowered by 3 guys and you shoot them, are you that much of a bad guy?
You could argue without equal and opposite force that the 2 he killed on the train was self-defense. The 3rd guy is
that he
murder.
chased up.
Yeah,
Okay.
very specifically chased him down and gunned him down in
But
the
then
back.
the fact that there are no witnesses, although they do report on it later because it becomes the whole build-up for the scene with Robert De Niro's character in the interview, but it almost could be something that didn't happen as well.
No,
there are no witnesses.
there's the woman on the train that sees him in his clown makeup.
Yeah.
So that's where
But she leaves.
she leaves. She doesn't see the actual murder, but as the only other 4 people on the train, and it makes sense that one of them committed murder, and it's the one that's not there anymore.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
What did you guys think of the scene in the apartment with his 2 ex-workmates?
The end of that scene, like how tense is that, where the guy that's always been nice to him at work, and he lets him go. He's like, well, I'm not going to hurt you because you're a champ.
Yeah.
And then he can't open the door.
That's terrifying.
I was like,
that actually might
slide
be the one
through,
thing
just-
that was kind of funny, and I don't mean that in a mean way to little people, but that was terrifying and kind of amusing at the same time.
Yes. Yeah.
I wanted him to try and push through the opening or climb up on the thing that was to the little table, use that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if he gets
turns.
up, he's going to realize that you're a witness and that's
gonna
it.
kill you.
But then he gives him a little kiss on the forehead.
That's so mental.
Yeah. So
It's
that's what
an
I'm saying.
amazing
It's
scene.
absolutely terrifying.
You're like, he's going to hurt the nice guy. He's going to hurt the
Yeah.
nice guy. Yeah. And he literally has to turn and go, can you help me, Arthur? Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. Scared the shit out of him. But
It builds the intensity, though.
Yeah.
And it's great. And again, it shows, I think, again, without disparaging people who have mental health issues, it does show the volatility of a scenario like that, or someone who is off their meds, or someone who is not getting the right sort of medical care, and how volatile a situation can escalate.
Yeah.
From murdering one person, not that that's a precursor to it, but then the other person, he literally kisses on the forehead and goes, cool, have a nice day.
yeah.
Shit.
So he was on medication
Initially, and then he
I'm trying to
can't
struggle to
afford
remember.
it.
I know I only watched it last
So
night.
the city cuts funding to the social program that he's a part of, and
I know
he
that.
asked the social worker. He's
Yeah.
like, "Well, how am I going to get my medication then?"
like, "Ooh."
And she's like, "Well, they don't care about me. They don't care about you.
Yeah.
They're just, but it's it's what the bottom line is."
Yeah.
So
And that ties into, obviously, Daddy Wayne being elected for mayor and him not caring, even though perhaps, in comic book lore, he was a doctor or whatever.
Yeah.
And not caring about the social infrastructure of the city.
yeah. But you see it in American politics, especially with billionaires running for office, being
Yeah.
elected, and then
No healthcare.
other billionaires thinking that they're the solution. Well, if one billionaire is, if he's on that side and I'm on this side, clearly I'm the guy.
Yeah, I can fix it. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Just like all the other billionaires.
Yep.
Thanks, billionaires. The cool bit there, I think, with the lack of health funding and stuff, and I don't care. And then it ends with obviously ends up in Arkham Asylum, which again is something that's probably under-resourced as part of this. And then you assume that he does.
People keep breaking out.
Yeah, people yeah. All the time.
They should take the turnstile out.
Yeah,
I like to think that is him breaking out at the end.
I feel like
it is stylized, showing us his stylized
and the bloody
fantasy
footprints
view of him breaking out. So it's not exactly like that. It would look gritty and awful, but I think he's still broken out.
And the bloody footprints.
Yeah,
he's definitely hurt her or killed her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the Joker has ever been funny, except Heath Ledger's Joker.
Well, he's not meant to be funny. He's the opposite of Batman.
He's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Batman's
Well,
not
no, I
funny.
wouldn't say he's an anti-hero.
Well, in this film, they kind of make him an anti-hero, no?
Yeah, I guess. Not that you're really cheering for him.
But
You
for
do
someone
initially,
called
though.
Joker,
Yeah.
he's never even funny. Kind of like, God, that's he was so vicious, but he was really funny whilst he was doing it. It's just
Well, I don't think it's literal. Like, the penguin's not a literal penguin, is
except
he?
in
Is he?
no, he's not.
He just
Catwoman's
looks
not
like
an
one.
actual cat woman,
Yeah.
or she doesn't go around with cats strapped to her.
That could be good. Duct taped cats. No
That's-
one could touch you.
That's what would have made the Halle Berry Catwoman film
Then why
actually
even
good.
have the name? Okay, I'll have a superhero character called the Gentleman who's just covered in shit.
That's just you normally on the weekends.
Yeah, grease me up.
That's why we didn't record this yesterday.
Oh, yeah, because
Everyone had plans because we know
I'm very clean now.
Steve's bath night is Sunday night.
every second Sunday.
That's it for this episode of AstroNaughty. Thanks for watching. If you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe. I'm Brendan.
I'm Dan.
I'm Steven.
Bye.
Max.
Laters.